The guys delivering the message said that he anointed them for a specific purpose, for a specific time, just for that. And yet we have Jesus on the inside of us. We have the availability to experience the glory of God at any given time. And we put it in there, and we put it in our coat pocket, and we wait until Sunday to spend some time with Jesus. And then we take our deep appreciation of Jesus out for an hour while we're at church, and then we leave, we put it back in there. And we go through a week. When that whole week we could have experienced the joy and the glory of God all week long. In every instance, every time, every opportunity that we have the ability to call on the glory of God to get me through this situation, to give me the words to speak to this person, to give me the testimony that you want me to share. Yes, Jesus, I love you. I will feed your sheep. Every time you give me the opportunity. Yes, Jesus, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I do love you, Jesus. I miss the time that I'm not with you. I miss the time I come to church because I get such a fulfilled feeling out of it. I can do that anytime, anywhere. I don't have to be sitting in a building for any special purpose. I can do that anywhere, anytime. I can experience the glory of the Lord Jesus Christ wherever I'm at, anytime I call upon His name. And ask Him, Lord, yes, Lord, I love you. I have a deep appreciation, I have a deep respect for you. So when you give me the opportunity, when you call on me and say, do you love me, feed my sheep? When you show me a sheep that needs to be fed, yes, Lord, I love you, I'll feed your sheep. See, we read that scripture, and I've read it myself many times, to be directed towards a pastor, or towards a leader, or towards a disciple that God put in place. That, okay, you're the disciple, you're the one that says you love me, now you got to take care of all them. You're supposed to be the one that feeds my sheep. When we're all disciples of Christ, if we've accepted Jesus Christ, we're all the same as Peter. And he says, if you love me, feed my sheep. It's not directed at any one specific person or any one specific group. It's directed directly to everyone that calls yourself a follower of Jesus Christ. Do you love me? Think about that the next time your little intuition or whatever you want to call it tells you to do something. And immediately you begin to rationalize it. Well, that's not the way it's really done. Really, we don't do two songs and then communion. We usually do it a different way. That's not normal. Well, you know what? In all reality, Jesus wasn't normal. He didn't do it the way everybody else did it, and that's what the scribes and the Pharisees didn't like. Well, he's not doing it the way we've always done it. What makes him think he's so special? Because he listens to God. He said, and he told him many times, I'm not here doing this of my own will. I'm here doing what the Father in heaven tells me to do. He listened, and when Jesus calls on us, He wants us to walk even as He walked. Even as He was with God, we are with Him. So when He says, do you love me? Our response needs to be, yes, Lord, I love you. Okay, I want you to do this. Think about it that way. The next time the Lord puts something on your heart, He's not, before He asked you to do something, His first question was, do you love me? You love me? And if you said yes, then that means when He says, I need you to go testify to that. See, that person over there needs prayer. Oh, no, I don't associate with those people. No, he looks like he's doing okay. Oh, he's smoking a cigarette, and I can't stand the smell of cigarette smoke. We can come up with, we're quick. We're very quick to come up with an excuse why we can't. And I'm not excluding myself, because I'm just as guilty as anybody else of the exact same thing, and that's why I'm sitting here preaching to myself today. When Jesus asked us to do something, the first question was, do you love me? He didn't ask Peter, feed my sheep. Do you love me? He said, do you love me? Peter said, yes, feed my sheep. Jesus says, do you love me? And you say, yes. And then tomorrow He says, okay, go feed my sheep. Well, wait. Are we going to say, well, it was yesterday that I loved you? Or do I still love you today, Lord? And Lord, I'm not intimidated by the world, and I'm not afraid. You know, Coming back from all that up there, back down here, I was reminded of many scriptures, but be not conformed to this world. And man, when I look up there and I read the top 10, I see where the world is. They're not willing to acknowledge that God even exists. We watched a movie last night called Case for Christ, a true story about a guy, a couple, they got married, they had one child, had a little girl, and this guy is now a pastor in Houston, the fourth largest city in the country. He was a complete atheist. He didn't believe God existed at all. His wife, their baby was choking in a restaurant. You should watch the movie, but I'll share a little bit of it with you. The baby was choking in a restaurant, and a lady come that was a nurse and did the Heimlich maneuver and got the baby to spit up a gumball. And the lady introduced this other lady to church. She began to go to church. She got saved. She got baptized. And her husband he was a journalist for the Chicago Tribune, and he spent a good long time trying to prove that God didn't exist, that the resurrection couldn't have happened, that it never could have happened, Jesus wasn't really dead on the cross. He had all kinds of theories, and he went and he went and he went and he went and he spent a lot of time trying to prove it wrong. And he couldn't prove it wrong. He tried every avenue, went to every kind of author that had written any kind of book, any kind of he went to the Catholic Church, he went to a theological seminary, he went all over the country trying to prove it wrong. Finally one day he gave up. Finally one day he said, okay, God, if you're, I believe. I've tried to prove it wrong. He was a fact finder, he was a journalist. He had to have proof. And one of the guys that he talked to said, what's it going to take to make you believe? How much proof do you have to have? Are you ever going to believe no matter how much proof there is? And then finally, God called him, and he finally accepted the Lord Jesus Christ. Their daughter became an author and has written several best-selling books on Christianity. Their son finished a theological seminary and is now pastoring a church, and that man is also pastoring a church in Houston. There's no telling how many people have become Christians through one man that was willing to say, yeah, Jesus, I love you. And I'll do whatever it is. I realize now that you're real. I realize now that there's no way to prove it wrong. And the rest of his life he spent is still serving the Lord. Many hundreds or thousands of people have been ministered to through that one that decided, okay, Lord, I give up. I do love you. I do have a deep love and respect for you. And when you call on me, I realize that your calling on me is a witness of your love for me as I said I love you. And you're giving me an opportunity to express my love for you through the actions that you're giving me an opportunity to do. Just like a little text message from someone that you really have the butterflies for. Jesus wants to connect with you, and he wants to speak into your life, and he wants to bless your life. And he wants to hear the same words from you that he heard from Peter. Do you love me? You know, I think of my own life, and I think of Peter. And I think, you know what, Peter did pretty good in only rejecting Jesus 3 times. I think I far outweighed that number. And so, not that I owe anything because he forgave it all. But I don't want to do it anymore. When he calls on me and says, do you love me? I want to say yes every time. Because he loved me so much. He died on the cross. Let's go to John chapter 14. Verse 21. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. How do you feel about Jesus just manifesting himself to you? Do you love me? Yes. He's asking today, do you love me? Are my commandments buried in your heart? Do you have a deep love and respect for me? Do you adore me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me, people? Can I somewhere find a place in the top 10? Go to 1 John chapter 5. 1 John 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God. This is the love of God. That we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous. See, Peter grieved. When Peter realized that Jesus had asked him 3 times, because of the 3 times that he had denied him, he was grievous about it. But Jesus says, it's not to be grievous to you. This is the love of the Father. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Every request that Jesus has, I take as a personal request to myself. Do you love me? Is the first thing He asks me. When I see someone that needs prayer, or I see someone that the Lord shows me needs something, the first question He's asking me is, do you love me? Yeah, I love you, Lord, but not that one over there. That one is your problem. Yeah, I love you, Lord, but. No, I love you, Lord. I don't know how this works. I don't know how I get around the cigarette smoke. I don't know how I deal with what I'm going to deal with. I love you. Now, serve you. You gave your life for me. You know, every time that I've been willing and surrendered to the call to go to testify or pray with or do something of that nature, it's a very short time that God asks me to do anything. You can go and pray with someone and really bless them in less than a minute. 1 minute. We'll do a lot of things a lot worse than testifying to somebody for more than a minute. We'll sit in a car for 3.5 hours on the highway. And for me, that's the most uncomfortable thing, trying to just set in the car, 3.5 hours up there, went and ate, went to the motel, went to sleep, got up and went and sat in a conference center in Flagstaff for 9 hours, got out, got in the car, went and ate, drove home. I just wanted to stand up for a while. We got done eating, after the conference we went and eating, I told Des, I said, I'm going to go stand outside for a little while. I'm going to stand up, upright. Tyler's sitting down. But yet a minute, 45 seconds, even 2 minutes to pray and share, put your arm around somebody and say, let me pray for you. Bentley was in the hospital with pneumonia last week. Dessa went up there. And she come home with tears in her eyes. She said, I can't believe the number of little kids that are in that hospital. And I thought, well, I wonder how many people go and pray with them little kids. Golden opportunity to go. And just sit down with somebody's little kid and say, you know what, let's pray. That in that movie, when that man was getting so frustrated because his wife was just going further and further into Christianity, it was driving him crazy. He got all mad one night when he came in and been out drinking and come in all mad and everything. And so his little girl went into her room, and he goes in there and he's trying to make up, and she goes, it's okay, Daddy, I prayed for you. It's okay, I'll pray for you. I can spend all that time doing something that's not the blessing. Here's the greatest part of it all. When we act as God tells us to, when Jesus says, do you love me? And gives us an opportunity, and we take full advantage of that opportunity and go and bless somebody else. Guess who gets blessed next? We do. We rob ourselves, because Jesus, we just read in 1 John, he said, I will manifest myself to them. When Jesus says, do you love me? And we say yes, and he says, feed my sheep, and we go and feed his sheep, he manifests himself within us to minister to those people, and we receive the blessing. Just as much as we can bless somebody, Jesus blesses us right back. So the next time you're out there and you're standing in line at Walmart or Fry's or Safeway, and the register lady, the cashier, seems a little frustrated or angry or whatever, don't be too afraid to say, God bless you. Can I pray for you? Can we pray together for a moment? Maybe you have a few seconds. Lord, bless this person's life. Give them some peace. Amen. How long did it take? And you'll walk out of there about that far off the ground. Because Jesus will manifest. He promises in his word, he will manifest himself to you when we're obedient to the call. When Jesus says, do you love me? Yes, Jesus, I love you. We should get a big smile. We should get excited about it, because he's fixing to do something. He's fixing to manifest himself to you. Jesus, if you could get the whole equation and put together from beginning to end, it says, do you love me? I'm going to bless you like you can't believe. If you connect all the points in between. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. And I'm going to bless you. And you're going to have a smile on your face at the end, so start it with a smile. Start it with a smile. Did you know that Jesus loves you? There's so many things that will just come to your mind if you just allow Jesus to speak to you. Because he's going to manifest himself to you in the midst of it. When we worship and we raise our hands and our spirit begins to move, that's available 24/7. It lives within inside of you. It's available for you to withdraw from at any given moment. Use it. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Remember, the first question he asks, do you love me? Feed the sheep. We've got a couple of songs we're going to close with. I invite you to come back this evening at 6.
Come on, sweetie.
We're going to have Lord's Supper at 11, and then our next service is at 6, and we invite you to come back tonight. There's a movie just right off the press. Y'all seen it, Hand of Liberty. Tortured for Christ, a movie, March the 5th, 2018, 7:30 p.m. at Harkins Theater, Casa Grande. The movie is a retelling of the testimony of the voice of martyrs found. Pastor Richard Wombrand has written a book, Tortured for Christ. Okay, please share with your family and friends so the event can meet a minimum threshold of 63 tickets. It ought to be on the top 10, my friends. Limited time theatrical event. Each theater will agree to air the movie only if enough tickets are pre-purchased. If we don't go buy the tickets, we're not going to get to see the movie. You got to buy the tickets first. Do you love me? The 7:30 p.m. on the 18th, on the 5th, which is tomorrow. If they sell enough tickets in time.
No, that's March.
March. 1 month from tomorrow. Let's see. Yes. Go to the following website and order your tickets before the 19th. And the website is here on this piece of paper. And I'm not going to try to read that.
I'll have it hanging up out there.
We'll put it up somewhere you can find it. Torture for Christ, the movie March the 5th, if enough tickets are sold. I think that, I got a feeling in my heart that movie's going to show. Amen.
Amen.
Even if all the churches in Casa Grande have to go buy 5 tickets each. Hand them out. Amen. Can't be that big of a deal. All right, here we go.